Hey guys, and welcome to my first look at a game called Volgarr the Viking. This is very much like playing this game feels exactly to me like playing a 2D Dark Souls, basically. There's no progression system like Dark Souls or anything like that. It also strongly resembles like SNES or Genesis era games like Ghosts and Goblins and games like that, or Castlevania even. But the way this works is we're this guy, we kill monsters, we get to checkpoints, and we can respawn infinitely at checkpoints, and we try to beat the boss of an area, and then move on to the next one. So let's get started here. This is like the tutorial area. I'll just show you guys through it, but you don't have to go through this every time. So by swinging my sword, by pressing X and B, this guy says press jump plus jump to gain great height. That's true. We can jump, we can throw our spears, we can swing our sword, and we can double jump in this like sword spinning attack, and that actually does damage enemies as well. And we can also do a tactical roll by holding down A and jumping. One really important thing to note here is that this wall actually goes away if you break it for the first time, and we saw it open, but after I killed an enemy it closed because I'm not allowed to like do anything here before doing that. That's actually the save system of the game. So the game like tries to obfuscate the fact that it has a save system because it's like a commitment to the era that the genre is from. I think that's a really big mistake. I talked to the developer at length about it on Twitter. He said he was going to make it a little bit more obvious. It's still very much not obvious. But if you're playing this game, just know that it does have a save system, even though, like, if I say something like reset games, it's like, you're going to restart the entire game from the beginning and lose all current progress. That's not true. Your save point still saves even if you quit the game, even if you restart the game. Doesn't matter. So that's a commitment to an old relic. And a lot of people are like, but Green, you love a lot of roguelikes, so why do you have a problem with not having a save system? Well, the thing is, you get infinite continues. So really, the game's not punishing you for dying. For dying, you can go back as many fucking times as you want. What the game is punishing you for is turning off the game, or what it's pretending to punish you for, and I feel like that's a really bad design choice that I think it's really odd that the game pretends to have. So, just know that that's like the most important thing. If you're going to take one thing away from this first look, just know that Volgarr does have a save system, and it's not just being a piece of shit and resetting the entire game every time you turn it off, trying to make you like leave your computer on all day. But anyway, so we're on the first world of Volgarr here, and you can get a pretty good idea of like what the combat is like just from watching me play. It's pretty standard platforming fare. It's very, very difficult. Like it's very easy to take damage if you don't know what's happening, and lose as a result. The reason I'm doing so well here is because it's one of those games. It's like Dark Souls, in that you learn by playing over and over and fucking over exactly what needs to be done. You might wonder what I'm doing here. There we go. You get the spear right on the edge there. This part's a lot easier. It's hard to hit that precisely, but it's like real important in my opinion. There we go. Because otherwise, like, the jumping is so awkward that it's really easy to land on these spikes just because the jumps won't do what you want them to do. If you throw a spear right on the edge, then it's much easier to just walk onward. But anyway, this guy's a pain in the ass. He might actually hit us. Yeah, my dodge roll sometimes like puts me inside of him, and then I take damage anyway. That's okay though. I'm gonna dodge this guy, come down here, and one thing I should mention is that you kind of passively block attacks that are at your shield level. So I crouched to block that one because it might have hit me in the feet, and then I would have been in a worse position. Oh no, I fucked up my spear. These guys take 3 hits to kill, so they're kind of a pain in the ass. Alright, so we're back down to normal shield man, or not normal shield man, but thunder shield man, hammer shield man, which is a problem. Your hammer shield, I should go over this actually. There's a series of upgrades in the game. The first one, you start off with just a wooden shield, and that will block 2 attacks before it breaks, and it also is good for 1 hit. So if you get hit with the wooden shield, then you do not die. The hammer shield is the next upgrade you're going to find in a chest, and that makes it... Oh, this thing's going to hurt us if we don't put these up. We can block the attacks from this guy by putting a spear up there and then kind of kill him like this. There we go. The hammer shield blocks an infinite number of attacks. You're never going to stop being able to block. It also gives you this charged up spear, which has increased range. Like you can see, my spear disappears fairly quickly if I throw it like that. But if I charge it up, then it reaches all the way to the end of my extended range, which I'm getting by pressing the bumpers. And then we get this this helmet, and as you can see, we can throw spears and swing our swords substantially faster now. And also, that allows us to take an extra hit. So if you get hit with either of the shields, that's like, oh fuck. That's back to like naked barbarian. But once you get the helmet, then you can get hit with the helmet and go back to your hammer shield. And then the last upgrade after that, we've reached our first checkpoint, by the way. So now, if you reached here in the game, then your warp would take you here, and also this is where we're going to respawn every time we die from now on. You know, as the word checkpoint implies, I guess. But the last upgrade after you get a helmet, and if you get to another chest while you have the helmet, then you get a flaming sword that has more range and does double damage. And that makes melee attacks a lot more viable. I feel like a lot of the time in Volgarr, if you're swinging your sword, you've probably done something wrong. There are times for swinging your sword for sure, but most of the time, the most like strategically valuable thing to be doing is just to be using spears, whether fully charged or normal. Kill the shit out of that guy with our increased attack range. This guy's going to be coming, but we can just do like that and catch him right in the gut, and he will be dead. The charge up spears, I think, do 3 damage, which is just enough to kill those red guys. So just making sure that I'm in a position to block. If you're attacking, then obviously your block won't go off, so you kind of have to be careful about that. There's our flaming sword, so we can show that off. As you can see, I have a longer attack range. It's especially obvious when I do the flippy attack. That's also going to be doing double damage, so instead of 2 damage with my sword, or instead of 1 damage with my sword, I'm going to be doing 2. Which is nice. I can 2-shot these red guys now, and 1-shot the blue guys, who only have 2 health. And this is a pain in the ass. This took me probably literally half an hour of trial and error to figure out exactly how I was going to get through this mess. But it's not too difficult for me anymore. The most important part is baiting out that red guy, because he can be a big problem for you on this part. Now we're just going to come up here and pump spears into this guy. And then get up, and those lizard men actually can't follow us up here, but there's an infinite spawn of them down there, so you kind of have to keep moving. After you get the flaming sword, the chests just turn into money. Oh, that was close. Okay, I was sure I was going to take damage. But anyway, we're going to move on here, and this is kind of an interesting like puzzle element. We could just go straight up, but we'd get hit a lot on our way up that ladder. So what you have to do is actually come up this right side. We get a bunch of money, but beyond that, we can put up these defensive spears that make it so that the projectiles will not land on us. We could go over to the right for a secret area, but the most important thing over there for me anyway is the chest. But we already have full armor and equipment, so it doesn't seem necessary for us right now. This is an area that requires some careful timing. Worked out all right. There's even more money for us. This is annoying. I never know the timing right for this. Ah, it worked out. If you fuck it up, then like your shield blocks most of them, but if there's one heading for your feet, then your shield won't block it, which is always really frustrating when that happens. God damn it. Get the gem. There we go. Alright, and we're moving on to the boss with the flaming sword, which is a good place to be. I think I might be able to beat the boss on my first go here, which would be really nice. But again, this is not how you expect to go through Volgarr your first time. This is after you're accustomed to the controls and have played this level over and over and over again. And that's kind of the fun and the pain of playing Volgarr. By the way, I haven't talked about this enough lately or today, but I like this game a lot. I really enjoy it. It's frustrating as fuck sometimes. It's also really good. Probably get 2 attacks in on this guy safely. His telegraphing of that attack is not actually enough to get out of the way. Like, you have to already be on your way out when he starts winding up that attack, which makes me wonder like why he bothers to telegraph it at all. But anyway, there is the boss beaten with no damage taken, and I feel really good about myself. That's the best I've ever done in Volgarr. Let's go ahead and pop open this chest. probably set a new like money record for myself. But it doesn't actually record your score until you, or I guess it does record every time you come back here. So my best ever is now 951. Good stuff. And that door up there, like, indicates how many bosses you've beaten, I'm pretty sure anyway. So let's move on to level 2, shall we? And the first one was like a lizard man kind of place. This area is, I guess there's still a bunch of lizard men. They're like more like frogs now. But it's like a water world, which is, you know, always the worst thing in the world in a video game, I know. But it's not terrible. What just happened? I don't know what happened. I think I opened so many chests in a row without losing my flaming sword that something special happened. I wasn't paying attention because I was doing commentary. I'd love if somebody told me what special thing just happened. Said, you've got the touch, you've got the power. But what? I just fell right through that platform. Alright, well that's quite a way to end that run. God damn it. I was doing so well, I had the flaming sword on level 2. Like, to start off with. That was going to be a really big advantage. Oh well. Anyway, let's start playing some more here. And I would like to get to the second boss. I've gotten there before, but it's a struggle. It's a long way to the second boss, so we'll see if we can do it. But the second world, as you might imagine, is exponentially more difficult than the first. And the first world routinely takes people like over an hour to beat for their first time. I think I beat it my first time at like the age of 12 or so. Oh man, I didn't mean to jump to the right. That's another thing I should mention. Castlevania jumping. Once I made that jump and accidentally had like my finger on the diagonal instead of the up, because I'm a big dummy. That was it. Like, I was committed to that jump that was going to kill me. There was nothing I could do about it, unfortunately. And that's a lot of the frustration of Volgarr. Like, the game might look easy because you're watching somebody who's practiced it a bunch. Any little tiny mistake can easily fuck you over in this game. It's the sort of game where you'll be on a great run and then suddenly die and be like, well, fuck. And it's also the sort of game where it's like, dodge that, throw the spear, make this guy jump, kill him. It's the sort of game where you'll get, like, feel like you're doing really well, you'll get to the boss will kill the shit out of you immediately, and it's like, well, time to spend 10 minutes getting back to the boss. Fuck me, right? So, you know, it can be very frustrating. And, you know, like Dark Souls, like the Dark Souls comparison I feel like is extremely apt for this game. My brain feels the exact same way playing Volgarr as it does playing Dark Souls. It's just like a whole lot of, wow, fuck that death, right? And then eventually things go right and you beat it and you just feel so good. You're like, yes, I'm the greatest Viking the world has ever known. And, you know, it has a lot of that retro feel to it. You know, this is how a lot of old games were. That's why so many people like Dark Souls so much, because it's, you know, there's a lot of pain and suffering. Why are these not going? There we go. There's a lot of pain and suffering to get to the point where you feel like you're just the greatest man in the world. And you can't get that with a game that just hands everything to you. That's why Volgarr is fun. They're really committed to the feel of, like, you're playing a Sega Genesis game. Like, have fun. And it really, like, to the point of, if you go and read their manual on their website, then it looks like a Sega Genesis manual. By the way, we're gonna cheese the shit out of this boss. You think I'm gonna fight this guy? Fuck you. It's dead. Well, it's not really a boss, but it's like a mini-boss type thing. But, you know, that's the sort of thing, you learn little exploits like that after playing over and over and over again. I'm sure as I get on to the third world and more, I'll keep on finding more of them. But really, the only thing I'm not familiar with that we're likely to get to in this video is the second boss, and the second boss is just going to beat the shit out of me. That's just how it's going to go. We can get up here for... Oh my god, you do the jump properly, please. So we're going to come up here, get some extra treasure. Could have been an armor piece, but, you know. And just keep on riding this boat. This is, you know, pretty standard video game fare. We're on this boat that's going to move independently of us, and we have to get on and off of it. Use this bomb to damage the boss a little bit, because we do need to kill it quickly if we're going to get through here. There we go. And I actually did get through there quickly enough to actually get to the secret area that I've never been to before. We're going to ride the boat instead of going up top. If you do miss the boat, then you can't get down here. You have to go the other way through those annoying clams that always hit me a lot. So, you know, instead we got an extra 150 score. Very nice. Let's just kill the shit out of that guy, and we're making it on to the second checkpoint of the second world. And the way the game has always worked so far for me is you get to checkpoint number 1, and then the boss is after that. There's like, well, I mean, there's, ooh, what is that? What does that do? I don't know what that is. I want to know. I want to understand you, Volgarr. Oh, our increased range doesn't work underwater. I forgot about that. Because, you know, we are using a flame sword, so it makes some degree of sense that trying to use it underwater is not the best idea. So again, we're going to cheese the shit out of this boss by luring him over where we can pump some spears into him where he can't do anything. This guy's going to come out of the cockpit and be pretty angry about things, but not very effective at dodging spears, so that's okay. And there is a breath system that we'll probably see popping up in a second here. Throw a spear there, and then we'll need another one up here to actually get up. We're not gonna run out of breath. There it is. So after you're underwater for a while, it seems to be like maybe 30 seconds, then you'll start counting down. It gives you 9, 8, 7, etc. Kill these guys, no problem. Might actually be able to kill one of these guys with my flame sword. Nah, I can't. So we have to do some clever platforming here to jump off and throw spears. You can't throw spears while you're on the... Oh no! Slime, you ruined everything! I had the flaming sword. This area is a pain in the ass, and basically RNG for once in this game. Usually it's very fair and balanced and not random at all, but sometimes these slimes are the only RNG factor I've found, actually. But they'll just they don't give a shit. They'll just move around however they want. You're not their mom. Okay, anyway, let's see if we can do this. This like works half the time for me, jumping into that guy and spin attacking him. I'm not sure exactly why it fails sometimes, but it definitely does. So we got lucky there, or, you know, skilled maybe. I can't tell whether it's a skill thing or a luck thing yet. One interesting thing is when you lift your sword up before swinging it, the lifting your sword up actually does damage as well. Make that guy jump down so we can hit him. Those guys have like a short cooldown on their jump, so you want to throw a spear at them as they're landing so they can't jump again and avoid it. So this is a tricky platforming thing because you don't want to go too high and hit the ceiling. We did it that time, no problem. Oh, please make it through. Good. And those clams only ever shoot one way. They can't adjust. There's our flaming sword. Very nice. We want to get up here quickly. Okay, good. So we don't have to worry about the blobs now, and then we'll just... Oop, that didn't work, but we can just do like that instead. Put a thing on the wall, and we're going to use a bunch of spears on this guy and dodge his attacks. Oh, damn it. There goes our flaming sword, unfortunately, and our helmet. The flaming sword does not count as another piece of armor, you know, as you might expect. We are going to come up here and grab another secret helmet. No! Well, we'll get another shield anyway if I can get up there. Platforming very precise and to the point of being irritating sometimes, unfortunately. But, you know, that's how the game is. So we got our wooden shield back. That's not ideal. We're coming up on the boss pretty soon. I would like to fight him with a little bit more gear. We might be able to get some in a little bit. I think there's one more chest on this level. So I find the best way to do this part is to just come underwater here so we don't have to deal with the RNG blobs. I hate those guys so much. The blobs are like the worst enemy in the entire game because I never know what they're going to do. I never know where they're going to be because they're one enemy that doesn't respond exactly. Oh, I don't have charged spears, that's right. That's actually annoying for this part. So we want to bait these guys out and hit them because we could just use a charged spear to kill this guy if we had one. But it all worked out. And is there another chest somewhere around here? Can we even get up here? Nah. Alright, so we're on to the boss. We have one shield. I've never beaten this guy before. We're dead. Like, I'm sorry to spoil it for you guys. But this is going to be the end of this run and probably the end of my first look at Volgarr. you know, you've shown a substantial amount of the game, more of the game than I would expect anyone to see in their first like 3 hours of play. I've played a lot of this game. I streamed a lot of it last night, and I've just been playing it too. Ah, man. Yeah, that guy's patterns are a mystery to me still. And the problem is, like, I'm sure I could have beaten him if I could just spend like 10 minutes straight working on him, but I can't, because now we have to go through this entire area, and that's the challenge of Volgarr. That's the rage-inducing factor of Volgarr, is just how long you spend. Oh, come on! Alright, this is definitely a kill yourself kind of run, because we don't even have the first upgrade, and we're like 2 minutes in, or not 2 minutes, like 2 seconds in. But regardless, I think that's going to do it for my first look at Volgarr. I think you guys have seen enough, definitely, to know whether this is your kind of game. Keep in mind, this is what it looks like, again, when you've practiced the game for hours on end and honed your understanding of the world to a T. It will probably be a lot easier for you guys to get through these worlds now that you've seen this, but the future worlds, I'm sure, are even harder and even more of a pain in the ass. One thing I do want to show off is, let's reset the game. It says, oh, all of your progress is gone. Yeah, fuck you, game. It's not. The game is just straight up lying to us. We can come through this area. You have to break that your first time, and we're back on the second world. So, you know, it lost my my first checkpoint there, but you know, I'm back to the same world I was on, and that's a big difference from just having to play the game from scratch every time you play. That's like you know, even when you're good, it's like a 10-minute investment just to get back to this first world, and that's a shitty thing for the game to pretend to do, in my opinion, anyway. But luckily there is a save system, and luckily you guys know about it. Tell your friends, if your friends are playing this game, make sure they know about that secret wall. And you know, especially if your friend is thinking about buying this game and is like, oh, it doesn't have saves, they're incorrect, but you know, they can't be blamed for their incorrectness, because the game kind of encourages that misconception. But anyway, thank you guys for watching my first look at Volgarr, and I will see you guys in the next video that I do, whatever that may be. I was gonna say the next episode. I'm not planning an episode of Volgarr, so anyway, see you guys next time.